In this lecture, we are going to work with circular progress bars. To start, run Android Studio. I create a new project and I name it, for example, Progress Bar. My project is stored in the Material Design Projects folder. I click Next. I set the minimum SDK to API 15 or Android 4 and I click Next. Empty activity and Next and Finish. I wait until Android Studio creates my project. Alright, the Gradle operations finished successfully, and my project was created. I go to the resource folder and under layout, I open the activity main layout. I go to the text section and I get rid of the default constraint layout completely. And then I create a relative layout. Next, in the preview pane, I set the height and width of my relative layout to match parent. Now I'm going to define a progress bar inside my relative layout. I set its height and width to wrap content. As you can see, the progress bar has been created under the toolbar. After height and width, I define an ID for it. @ plus ID / progress bar _ ID. I also give it a margin of 16 dp. I close the activity main layout for now and I open the main activity class. Inside main activity, I'm going to create an object from the progress bar class. I type progress bar and I name my object progress bar with the small p. Semicolon. Inside the onCreate method, I'm going to get reference for my object. I type progress bar equals, I cast the right side to progress bar, find view by ID, r.id, dot progress bar _ ID, and semicolon. Then I type progress bar dot, I call the method setVisibility. And as the parameter to this method, setVisibility, I pass view.visible. This will make our progress bar visible. Okay, let's run our project on the emulator. Alright, our application was launched on the emulator. As you can see, now we have a progress bar under the toolbar, which is active and is visible on the layout. By default, the progress bar's color follows color accent. You can change the value of your color accent or define a new style for your progress bar. Okay, I stop my application. For now, I close main activity. Then I go to the values folder and I open colors.xml. I'm going to define a new color in this file. I name it, for example, color progress bar. And I close my color. For its value, I go to material colors and I select, for example, purple. I copy the color code for A200, I return to Android Studio, and I paste it inside color progress bar. Now I close colors.xml and I open styles.xml. Now I create a style for my progress bar and I name it, for example, progress bar theme. And I set my styles parent to widget.appcompat.progressbar. Inside this style, I add the color accent item. For its value, I enter the color that I have defined in colors.xml. @color/color progress bar. You see that Android Studio is showing an error line. To fix that, I remove the Android : part from my item. So we created a new style, and inside the style, we changed the value of the color accent item. The next thing we are going to do is to connect this style to our progress bar. So I close styles.xml and I open the activity main layout. For my progress bar, I'm going to define a theme, Android: theme equals @style/progress bar theme. Be careful about capital and small letters. Okay, let's run the project on the emulator. Alright, our application is running on the emulator. As you can see, the color of the progress bar now changed to purple. And it doesn't follow the default color accent anymore. You can set any color that you want for your progress bar. At the end of this lecture, I'm going to define a timer for my progress bar so that it stops moving after a given time. I stop the emulator, and then I open the main activity class. Inside main activity, I'm going to define an object from the handler class, and I name it handler. Also, I define an object from the runnable class, and I name it runnable. And an object from the timer class. I name it timer. Inside the onCreate method, I instantiate my objects. I type handler equals new handler and semicolon. Runnable equals new runnable. You see that the run method was automatically added to our class. Make sure you end the statement with a semicolon. Also, timer equals new timer. Next, I type timer dot, then I'm going to call the method schedule. Inside the parentheses, we need to enter a few arguments. The first is timer task, so I type new timer task. You see that the run method was added automatically to our class. The second argument is delay, which specifies in milliseconds the delay after which our task is to start execution. For example, I enter 8000, which means my task will start execution after a delay of 8000 milliseconds. And the final argument is long period, which specifies the time period in milliseconds between successive task executions. For example, I enter 1000, which means the code inside the run method will be executed once every 1000 milliseconds. Inside the run method, I type handler.post. Inside the parentheses, I pass it my runnable object. Semicolon. So, my task will start execution after 8 seconds, and once every 1000 milliseconds, the code inside my runnable object's run method will be executed. Here I enter some code. I type timer.cancel. Then progress bar dot set visibility. Inside the parentheses, I enter view dot gone. This will make our progress bar view invisible. Okay, let's run our project on the emulator. Alright, our application is running. Now we wait until our timer starts its task and disables the progress bar view. As you can see, our timer was scheduled and the code inside the run method was executed. First, our timer was cancelled and then the progress bar was made invisible. And that's it for circular progress bars. In the next lecture, we are going to get output from our circular progress bar project.